Welcome to Easy Delicious Cooking. When it comes to delicious and budget-friendly meals, I've got this little gem for you. Let me show you how I make baked ziti. It's a simple meal and it's a joy to make whilst I'm cooking it for my family and friends. Firstly, I could not find ziti pasta anywhere, so I've settled for the next best thing, and that's rigatoni. I know they're not the same, but they're similar.
Easy, delicious cooking for my family, for my friends. Always happy, always laughter. Let's get together for a meal.
The first thing I'm going to do is start preparing all the ingredients. Like with the sausages, I've got 3 beef sausages and 2 pork sausages. One of them is hot. I'm just gonna cut it and take the skin off. Here we are, all the sausages, their skin removed. So I'm just gonna mash the meat, the sausage meat, and I'm going to start cooking it and get that ready for the next step. We're gonna get an onion and dice it finely. So we'll dice this onion finely. Do the same for this one. There we go. There's the diced onion. Put that away. Okay, the first thing we'll do is put a little bit of olive oil in here. Turn the oven on and cook the sausage meat. We'll cook it 2 minutes, 3 minutes until it starts to brown. Then I'm going to add the onion and cook it for another 2 minutes and mixing it thoroughly so that we don't get any hot spots or burning. And then we'll add some of the spices. Okay. I'll keep working it to break up all the sausage meat. And when this comes to a reasonable amount of colour, I'm going to add the onions. Scrape all that flavour off the bottom. Wooden spatula. I've turned the heat down to medium, so I'll just keep working that until it gets a bit more colour. It's coming along nicely. I try and break down as many of the larger chunks of sausage. And at the same time, I'm constantly trying to get all that meat off the bottom of the pan. But it's about where I want it to be. So now I'm going to add the onions and cook them for another 2 minutes or so. So the onions have gone in, mix them in thoroughly, turn the heat to medium. Obviously I didn't dice it correctly enough because there's still some larger chunks of onion. Doesn't matter. Now I've turned the heat to medium and I can sense that it's getting too hot, so I'm going to turn down to low. Let the heat work for you rather than against you. I always try to respect the heat. I prefer to cook things, take longer to cook them rather than rush them and burn them. You tend to get more flavour out of your meals that way. Okay, so the onions are starting to get a little translucent. So you noticed I haven't added any pepper or salt yet. So I'm going to add the spices. 1 teaspoon, half a teaspoon, I beg your pardon, of oregano. Quarter of a teaspoon of rosemary. And quarter of a teaspoon of thyme. Mix them all in over low heat. I will add the salt later after I add the tomato and decide how much salt I need, if any, because the sausages will be quite salty. So okay, looking good. So there we go, just the final deglazing, but I'm going to put the tomato sauce in now, so that'll help. The whole jar goes in. I'll mix that in. Turn the heat up to medium. Add some water in. And with the medium heat, bring it up to a simmer. Okay, I've added the garlic in now, and I've added a little bit more water. It still hasn't come to a simmer, but once that happens, I will lower the heat and keep cooking it for about 30 minutes, and until it reduces a little bit, until the flavors intensify. I've tasted it. It needs a little bit of salt. So, what is it? About a quarter of a teaspoon of cooking salt. And I want the flavors to intensify. So I'm going to put about half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Mix that in. It's starting to really simmer now. So what I'll do is I'll drop the temperature to low. Once I've mixed it. Okay, it's simmering away. I'll put the lid on it. I said half an hour before, but I was wrong. It'll take a lot more than half an hour. It'll be closer to 1 hour. So let it just simmer away, let those flavors develop. No one's rushing it. No one's rushing it. This will become ultra delicious, and in no time, in an hour. While I'm doing this, while this is simmering, the next job will be to, sometime between now and the end of this, to cook the rigatoni pasta in some solid water. Here we go. The sauce is ready. It's thickened really well. The aromas are very, very nice. It's an interesting adjective, nice. So what I'll do now is I've got the pasta that's already cooked, and it's not fully cooked, so I'm going to put them in there now. Bit of a mess, sorry. And I'm going to mix that in there, make sure that every one of these pieces of pasta are coated with the sauce. Yes, I know it's not Ziti. Please forgive me. Would you believe it? I went to 3 different shops. I think their inventory hasn't caught up yet after the holiday season. It's a bit of a mess. But anyway, so now that's a hot sauce, and I'm going to leave it in there for a few minutes just so the pasta can absorb those flavours. It's looking good. I just think give it another mix. I've tasted it and the seasoning is good. Doesn't need anything. So what I'll do now is, after a few more minutes of this soaking up the sauce, I'm going to add some cheese, layer it. The oven's gone on, by the way, so by the time this is done, that'll reach temperature. And then once it's all done, I'm going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes. And when it comes out, just garnish it with a little bit of parsley. I've been efficient. Look at this, my pasta's already chopped up. And that's it, meal's done. It's a very easy and delicious meal to make. It's budget friendly, and I'm sure your family and friends will like it. Just to sum it up, the oven's on. This is the oven dish that I'm going to use to put the pasta in. I'm using a slotted spoon because I want a lot of the sauce to, well, not a lot. I want some of the sauce to be on the bottom when I put it on top of the dish. And I'll dish it all in. Not all, most of it, because I'll show you what I do. Once I've done that, you don't need to watch me do this. So what I'll do is I'll get back to you when it's done. So here's the pasta in the dish. So what I'll do now is I will add some of the parmesan. Take the spoon away, that will help. Not all of it, because I'm going to layer this. Some of the mozzarella, which helps to bind it all. Now, at this stage, you can mix it all in if you want. It's up to you. I'm in 2 minds, to be honest. So before I put the ricotta in, should I mix it or not? By mixing it, the cheese will go through the whole lot. And then we've got cheese on top. I'll let it go. And then I've got the ricotta. I'll put about half in. I'll break it into chunks. And that's what it looks like. So next I will do is put the remainder of that pasta on top with all that delicious sauce. Such an easy meal. Make sure I've covered the whole top with it. Spread it around evenly. Pat it down. There's the pasta. The final bit of pasta goes on. So now the last bit of the cheese will garnish this evenly up across the top. The oven's reached temperature. That was the parmesan, mozzarella evenly as well, and the remainder of the ricotta, fresh ricotta. And once that goes on, it'll go into the preheated oven for 30 minutes. When it comes out, it will be delicious. I'll put all the ricotta in. That'll break down. And there's the finished dish. So that'll go in the oven now, and I'll see you in 30 minutes. There we are, the finished dish. And it's all its glory. It looks amazing. I'll just put a little bit of parsley on it as a garnish, and that's ready to serve now. What you do is imagine putting this in the middle of your table and with a spatula in it, and your family and friends can just scoop whatever they want into their plates and eat it. It is fantastic.